What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this issue, we are jumping into something brand new. We are jumping into Aquaman issue number 1. A story written by Chuck Brown. We are picking up directly after the pages of Aquaman the Becoming. Now, if you didn't check out that series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that happened with that series. But with this issue number 1, we finally have Arthur, aka Aquaman, back on the scene. With him being gone the entirety of Aquaman the Becoming, Aqualad really had to step up and he had to become Aquaman. With us never really getting a clear answer on why Arthur had to go to Mars and why he was gone all of that time. But Arthur has shown up just in time because things are heating up and they are going to need all of the help that they can get. Now, be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue number 1, we are picking up at the UN headquarters. And though this may seem like a relatively normal day, that quickly changes with the arrival of a giant sea serpent. With this serpent coming up out of the water, it begins attacking the headquarters. And we see the shadowy figure walk into the room, asking for the one who is the Atlantean ambassador, saying that she is a traitor and that he has come to deal with her. This being none other than Aquaman's brother, with Ormu controlling this giant sea serpent as well as a bunch of other bottom dwellers. He has come to kill the ambassador. Unlucky for him, this is where we have the arrival of our Aquaman. With Jackson going and taking on the sea serpent, Arthur goes to confront his brother. And upon getting up to him, Arthur has to ask the question like, what are you doing? Have you not learned your lesson time and time again? That whatever scheme, whatever trick, whatever plot that you're trying to get at, you're gonna fail. But he tells Arthur that this time, there is something different. A new age for all of Atlantis. And once the surface sees what is truly coming, they will be begging for our protection. And in that moment, across the globe, a bunch of individuals, something happens to them. Something changes in them. Appearing to be ordinary human surface dwellers, they wake up, they're getting up, they're doing their thing. And then randomly, out of nowhere, begin speaking Atlantean. And with this happening in France, we see Black Manta, with his computer system not really picking up any Atlantean life forms. That doesn't stop this guy from going from a regular human to speaking Atlantean and trying to kill his date. With him jumping into action, he stopped this guy from murdering this woman. Throwing her outside, they begin to brawl. And it doesn't take much for Black Manta to put this guy in the dirt. The only issue, this guy, he begins dying, going into cardiac arrest. He is let known that they only have 15 seconds before he dies. Wanting to get him on the ship and find out what the heck is going on. Because Black Manta, he didn't put enough pressure on him, he didn't hurt him enough to actually make him go into cardiac arrest. Realizing that there is something bigger at play, he is going to be in some deep trouble because this is going viral. People recording off in the distance, they got every bit of what he just did. Picking back up with our fight of two brothers. At this point, Arthur is really just trying to figure out what the heck his brother is talking about. Talking about something bigger, something better than both of them is on its way. Not really understanding this very cryptic message. Trying to get in communication with Jackson, seeing if he needs any kind of help. This is where we see the sea serpent and Jackson, they come crashing through the wall. And as they come in, Arthur, he sees the shape that this sea serpent is in. It is badly beaten. It is badly cut. Jackson has really let into this thing. And Arthur has to ask the question, question, what the heck did you do? You knew it was under the control of my brother. Your job was not to try to kill it, your job was to try to ensure that it didn't destroy things. But with Orin being able to get away, Jackson says that they will talk about this later. Both are Aquaman jumping into high gear. Arthur is able to use his abilities to calm the sea serpent and send it back out to sea. The two of them then ganging up on his brother and bringing him into custody, swearing with handcuffs on his wrist that everything he is doing is for Atlantis. But with that being out of the way, we have Jackson Hyde sitting down with Arthur, the two of them discussing what just happened, because Arthur knows that he had the ability to stop the sea serpent from doing damage without truly hurting the sea serpent. Though it's going to be fine, it went back out to sea, Jackson knows that he went too far. After everything that happened in Aquaman the Becoming, with his mother currently in a coma, he's slowly beginning to let that rage take over. In the heat of battle, he is letting that anger control him, and though he has been working with great effort with Aquaman to try to curb this anger and try to see clearly, it's simply not working for him, thinking that maybe he needs more time. But he also doesn't want to stop working, because if he stops working, he has to think about everything. Wanting to keep his mind preoccupied, he lets him know that he will keep at it. But this is when Raven gets in communication with him. With her currently at the Roy Harper Titans Academy, she is letting Jackson Hyde know that there has been a ping on his father. This ping is coming out of France, saying that he murdered someone in cold blood right in the open in the middle of the street in Paris, telling Arthur that they need to get to Paris and they need to get there now. Black Manta is there, and right now he is experimenting on this individual that just went crazy at the restaurant, trying to figure out what it is about his biology and DNA that made all of this happen. And by all indications, for the last 20-something years, he has lived a regular, normal human life. But there is Atlantean DNA structure inside of him. Meanwhile, in Ohio, where one of these individuals just randomly snapped, he ended up going to the grocery store, buying a bunch of stuff, and building something inside of his basement. When his girlfriend comes downstairs, asking what the heck is going on, he says that this is for Atlantis, we remember. And the entire house goes up in a fireball. Picking up with Black Manta, we have Jackson Hyde, who has shown up on the scene. Jackson, he's not here to ask any questions, knowing exactly what he saw through all of the footage online, unbelieving that his father would finally stoop to this level and just start murdering people in cold blood. With Black Manta just wanting 1 second to explain what is going on, Jackson, he charges in. And Black Manta lets him know that I don't want to hurt you, but don't get that misconstrued that I can't hurt you. And as the two of them begin duking it out, each of them exchanging their punches, we see the arrival of Arthur. With Aquaman coming in on the scene, he stops Jackson Hyde and he lets him know that this time, Black Manta, he is not our enemy. This time, he is on our side and he is helping us. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I've been a big fan of what is going on with Aquaman and Aqualad ever since the Future State event, when we saw the convergence, because we learned that in the future they can use oceans to go to different multiverses. And honestly, that's why didn't we think about that sooner? Why don't we already have a story written about that very specific thing? And so I've been more following everything going on with Aquaman and Aquamen, because I want to see if we're going to get to that point. With Aquaman the Becoming, it was a pretty decent story. We found out, you know, he had a sister and so on and so forth. They stopped an assault. They're trying to do unification down under the sea. There's a lot of politics that are going on with that. But I'm really excited for Aquaman because we are finally getting Arthur back on the scene. Very disappointed that they didn't let us know what was happening on Mars. And maybe they let us know in the Black Manta line. That's the line that I did not follow though. But I do see that he got a new trident while in that line. And so with both Jackson Hyde and Arthur, I think there is a very good possibility this story could be a lot of fun. Because this is more or less the adventures of the Aquamen. It's definitely a good opener. I really hope that this story plays out relatively well, and I'm really excited to see what it is that is going to be coming. What this big threat, Arthur's brother, is going on and on about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor. Hit that sub button. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.